both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
My heart leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky. So was it when my life began. So is it now I am a man. So be it when I shall grow old, or let me die. The child is father of the man. And I could wish my days to be bound each to each by natural piety.
Honey, your mother that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they would do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is the law and the prophets. Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is a law and the prophets.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
The child is father to the man. How can he be? The words are wild. Suck any sense from that who can. The child is the father to the man. No, what the poet did write ran. The man is father to the child. The child is father to the man. How can he be? The words are wild.
Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they would do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is the law and the prophets. Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is the law and the prophets. 'Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is the law and the prophets. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is the law and the prophets. Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is the law and the prophets.
2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 9th day of the 11th and penultimate month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. Put another way, it's the 9th day of the 6th month of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. And according to the National Meteorological Service here in Jamaica, that front is not going anywhere. That stationary front that we told you about yesterday is still in place. That stationary front across Jamaica. And that stationary, as we said yesterday, is spelled Stationar, which means unmoved, fixed. It ain't moving. And we have told you before in terms of the jargons that are used in weather forecasting, as far as those jargons are concerned. The idea of a front, and in this case, a stationary front. And like we said yesterday, don't confuse the spelling and indeed the meaning with respect to the word stationary. It's in this instance, it's Stationary, which, as we've said, It simply means unmoved. It's not moving, not going anywhere. It's and not intended to be moved. So it's still with us. And the front itself, as we said, speaks to uh, a solid line of alternating blue spikes pointing to the warmer air mass, and then the red domes pointing to the colder air. So it really, the front is the stationary front is that transition between uh, the transition zone between two air masses, and neither of them is advancing into the other at a speed exceeding 5 knots. Now that may or may not be a little complicated for you, but essentially what we've also shared is that the stationary front is a weather front or a transition zone between two air masses when neither air mass, none of them, is advancing into the other at a speed exceeding 5 knots at the ground surface. On weather maps, they usually show it as a solid line of alternating blue spikes pointing to the warmer air mass and the red domes pointing to the colder air mass. Hope you have a better understanding of what that is. So the point we're making is, as we told you yesterday, it is there and it hasn't moved. The stationary front. One moment, please.
Love yourself. Do and
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and this Wednesday, November 10, we'll discuss the basics of diabetes and speak to our partners at the Heart Foundation about the effects of diabetes on the heart. Tune in and hear an exciting, healthy conversation with Dr. Jackie Campbell as she focuses on types, causes, symptoms, and testing for diabetes. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine, PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century. National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living. Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Benton Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, 82 Old Harbor. And Daily Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, November 10 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
your mother that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets.
And so we were just giving you a quick weather update, as we have been doing in recent times, so that no one can be surprised or should be surprised. At least we can't take we can't take responsibility for when we're not on air. So, for example, over the last couple of days, between is it St. James and Hanover experienced significant rainfall, resulting in quite an inundation of sections of those two parishes. Now we would have given you the last weather report on Friday before well, at the start of Friday's program, and we were not in a position to give you a weather report Saturday morning. Maybe we should start doing that. And next thing we knew, by Sunday and into Monday, pictures and videos all over the place of the tremendous flooding that happened in Hanover and Westmoreland. That's the kind of outcome, well, not outcome, but the kind of scenario in which we would love to be able with the help of the Met Office and the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, to give you enough information to put you in a frame of mind for as far as preparatory work is concerned, preparing for the impact of increased rainfall, for example. And we'll do our best going forward in that regard. But for the time being, as we said, there's a stationary front across Jamaica. It has been across the island since yesterday. It's expected to weaken today. Thereafter, a weak trough is expected to remain in the vicinity of the island over the next few days. Remember, when we speak of a trough, when you hear the word trough, think showers, think cloudiness, think thunder showers, or as some people like to say, bad weather. So but this one is weak. So we obviously wouldn't feel the full brunt of a trough, because this one is a weak trough, and that's expected to remain near the island over the next few days. Isolated showers and thunderstorms across central and western parishes this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy. And the Met Office says there's a high pressure ridge across the Gulf of Mexico. Now, that's the opposite of the trough. The high pressure ridge is an indication of fair weather in relative terms. But generally speaking, that high pressure ridge signals fair weather. So there's a high pressure ridge across the Gulf of Mexico. Let's take a look now at some of the observances for the month of November. It's being observed here in Jamaica as Youth Month, Parents Month, which is one of the reasons why 2 days in a row we have played selections that speak to family. Yesterday it was Bring the Family Back by Billy Paul. Today it's Honor Your Mother and Your Father by Desmond Decker. And so it is Parents Month, and we're happy to honor the parents and the young people. Don't worry, we'll be finding a selection or two for you. It's also Science and Technology Month, Youth Month, as we said, Drug Abuse Awareness Month, Local Government and Community Development Month, or as it is known these days, Local Government and Rural Development. So let's change that to Local Government and Rural Development Month. November is also Food Month, Eat Jamaican Month, Diabetes Awareness Month, Epilepsy Awareness Month, Alzheimer's Awareness Month, CARICOM Energy Month, and Kiwanis Family Month. It's Alana Muhammad Iqbal Day in Pakistan, Berlin Wall Opening Day in Germany, Dia de Kaman in Peru, National Independence Day in Cambodia, Virgen de la Almudena in España, and Inventors Day in Germany. Hoy es martes, el 9 de noviembre de 2021, y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones, y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est mardi le 9 novembre 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both sides of the story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter both sides of the story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue! All we're saying is it's Tuesday, the 9th of November, 2021, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. And in just a moment, there's something else we wanted to get in. We'll come back to that in just a moment. But we thank you so much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Cleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. If you have a smartphone or a not so smartphone, a laptop, a desktop, a PC, and you have internet service, and you have a browser, and you should have a browser on your system, like Google Chrome, Bing, Safari, any one of those, open that browser and start typing YouTube, and that will bring up the YouTube website, and that will allow you to watch both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM, and you don't need to have an account. We encourage you to like the channel. It's the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel. Like the channel, share the channel, post your comments on the channel. We see the numbers are still going up. We're not where we want to be yet in terms of the at least 1,000 subscribers. I think we are at 837 subscribers so far. And let's see how much longer it will take us to get to the 1,000 mark at the minimum. We're counting on you in that regard. And if you have a Facebook account, you can always watch us on Facebook Live on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. Although our main Facebook page and affiliated pages are public spaces. They're wide open to the public, and therefore pretty much anyone can watch the videos that are shown on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. What's on your mind this afternoon? We're always happy to hear from you. The numbers to call, 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means we'll welcome your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes. In fact, you can call us via WhatsApp, and you can call that same WhatsApp number directly. It's 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. How are you and where are you? Those two questions used to be asked by the late Charles Hyatt on his Sunday evening program here on Power 106 FM some years ago. And so we've been asking those questions as well. How are you and where are you? We always like to hear from you wherever in the world you are. How are things with you and yours? What's happening in your neck of the woods? How are you feeling? How have things been, generally speaking, as you have sought to navigate this very, very testing environment at home and abroad? In the meantime, we continue to do what we can while we can for whomever we can until we can't. looking forward to your full participation, as we said. And in fact, we see your multiple messages popping up already. I think we have missed a few messages from yesterday. Hopefully, we can clear them today. After all, you have taken the time out to write to us, to send feedback, to message us. The least we can do is at least is to acknowledge your message. So, Debisha Dwyer in where's Debisha again? Debisha is in New Jersey. Good afternoon to you. Faye Weller, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we accept your greetings to our listeners as well. Faye Weller says, I love the words of the song. Uh, Words of wisdom there, of course, and from the Bible, and put to music by Desmond Decker. Ricardo is greeting everyone as usual from Glengoff in St. Catherine. Velta Wilson is in St. Thomas. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and all the listeners. It is beautiful on this side of Eastern St. Thomas. Debisha marks herself present. She is, in fact, in New Jersey. Good day to you, Debisha. Nicola is in Mandeville, Manchester. Cherry Henry, good afternoon to you and all the other listeners in Tar Isle, St. Mary. She tells us, lots of rain this side of Tar Isle. That's the word from Cherry Henry. Stay dry, Cherry Henry, and all the others in Tar Isle, St. Mary. Clearing a few of those messages we didn't get around to at the end of yesterday's program. We think it's very important when you communicate with us, when you attempt to participate in the program, that we facilitate you as best as we can. And what time is it? Time for a break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. The National Irrigation Commission Limited is encouraging all Jamaicans to take action and safeguard our natural environment, which includes our beaches and rivers. We can do this by properly disposing our garbage and recycling when possible. Protecting our beaches and rivers is also protecting our food and livelihoods. Make the difference today. The National Irrigation Commission Limited. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
NIS pensioners, early encashment continues. Pension order vouchers with payable dates in November 2021 may be encashed as of Thursday, November 4. Collect all your payments for the month at your convenience. Simply visit your designated post office. Please note, pension vouchers can only be encashed at your post office. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Experience crazy low prices during the Home and Things Mowing Madness sale. Yes, get big discounts on all mowing faucets, sinks and bathroom accessories. Not to mention huge discounts on bathroom fixtures, lighting, windows, doors and much more. Check out the new arrivals of tiles at ridiculously low prices. You can't afford to miss the Mowing Madness sale at Home and Things, Walworth Road and Constant Spring Road. Top quality products at unbelievable low prices. With prices this low, you'll think we're going insane.
The following is a public service announcement from Power 106 FM. Jamaica. Each wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, with the added danger of variants, has brought unprecedented pressure on public resources. Our hospitals and healthcare workers at breaking point. Our economy battered, families in mourning, and our children face an uncertain future due to learning loss. In this race against COVID-19, we must stay in it to win it. We must continue using techniques that can help to beat the virus. Follow COVID-19 mitigation measures, including wearing masks, sanitizing, 6 feet of physical distance from others. And on this leg of our relay, we can win with vaccination. These safe and proven vaccines can make the difference against COVID-19. And now that vaccines are in supply, let's get vaccinated so we can get back on track and keep winning. The finish line against COVID-19 is in sight. And with true Jamaican determination, we can all have the victory. Brought to you by your friends at Power 106 FM.
So we ain't giving up now. We put up a fight. We got to be ready. Cause stock's getting traded. Just said, don't you worry.
on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Honey, your mother that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they will do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is the law and the prophets. Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Hello, Jennifer Stewart from Kew Road in Kencott, East Central St. Andrew. Good to have you on board, as usual. Tony Kelly in the UK, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. And we need to say hi to Joel Powell in Kingston, Joel Powell. Good afternoon to you, Joel Powell. And hello to your daughter, Joelle Powell. So she is Joelle, Joelle. That's Joelle, Joelle Powell. That's the female or the feminine spelling of that name, Joelle. So that's Mr. Powell's daughter, Mr. Joel, Joel Powell. His daughter is Joelle, Joelle Powell. Good afternoon to you both, and thank you very much for being listeners to this program, Both Sides of the Story, especially your father, Joel. All the best. Let's continue. And really trying to clear these messages. Let's see. Let's go to Mark in East London is greeting us. Welcome, Mark in East London. Good to have you on board. Thanks for joining us. Precious says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Listening from New Monkland in St. Thomas. Sending greetings to Pastor Cruikshank and Sister Cruikshank. Wishing them God's richest blessings. I believe the Cruikshank is missing an I here. I think it should be Cruickshank. I believe so. And yeah, that should be it. So good afternoon to you, Precious, and everybody in New Monkland in St. Thomas. And greetings to Pastor Cruikshank and Sister Crookshank, wishing them God's richest blessings, says Precious. Also coming through, Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary. He says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Tuesday to you and your listeners. I'm hearing talk of a fourth wave of the coronavirus. According to the health experts, the increase traveling across countries during the Christmas period will be the cause. My question is, since vaccinated people are fully protected and only people who are fully vaccinated will be allowed in and out of the country, who will spread the virus? Simple. Whoever is infected with the virus, whether a vaccinated person or an unvaccinated person. There's no mystery to it, Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary. No mystery to it. You remember we learned very early in this pandemic about being asymptomatic, meaning the person doesn't show any signs of any symptoms whatsoever, yet the person is a carrier of the coronavirus. So there's nothing new there, Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary. But thank you very much for your message. Jennifer Stewart, we read that message already. Let's jump to Jamaican Lynn. Jamaican Lynn says, good afternoon, Dervan. Hello also to everyone joining from around the world. Thank you very much, Jennifer Lynn, for greeting our listeners across and viewers across the world. And let's see who else. And while we do that, there's the time is really flying, isn't it? Really, really flying, because this is the 313th day of 2021, which means there are 52 days left in the year, and we are 46 days away from Christmas Day. So the time is really zipping by as we try to clear a few more of these messages coming through. And I believe we have covered, I believe there are some that are not relevant to the program, and we're jumping over those. But for the others, I think we're up to date now. Now, who is this? Who is this? This person says, I have retired, and it's so refreshing to listen to your program. Your pronunciation and enunciation are excellent. Keep up the good work. That's very kind of you. But that message, I think that one was from 2018. Let's come down to the current message. Thank you very much nonetheless. In 1934, Osmond Theodore Fairclough returned to Jamaica, only to find that 100 years after the Emancipation Act, the racist society created by plantation slavery was alive and well. Fairclough, a black man, after graduating from Calabar High School in 1922, had migrated to Haiti, where he worked as a regional manager in the National Bank of Haiti. On his return, Fairclough applied to 2 commercial banks, hoping to be employed in a management position. One of the banks did not bother to respond, and the other offered him a position, get this, as a porter. The 4 foreign-owned commercial banks, Bank of Nova Scotia, established in 1832, Barclays Bank in 1837, the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, 1867, and the Royal Bank of Canada in 1869, reserved clerical positions for whites and near-whites. Blacks were relegated to menial jobs. Fairclough was convinced that only when a nationalist political party led by the black intelligentsia formed the government, would an end be brought to the racist employment policies of banks and other foreign owned enterprises. He approached Norman Manley to form such a party. However, it was not until 1938 that Manley and Fairclough launched the People's National Party, and it would not form the government until 1955. KCC takes center stage. And looks like an extract from a book, and it is really long. It's really long. So let's see if we can direct you to where you can read on your own. The person who sent us the message says, I just saw this article. It is very lengthy, but it may be shared anytime you want to share a little history. Well, we've shared a bit already, and we'll see if we can share more bites as the program progresses. But thank you very much for your message, and we will leave it there for now. Oh, it's from Velta Wilson. Velta Wilson, you have used another number here. Let's make sure this one is added to the system. Let's see. Velta Wilson. Thank you very much for your message. Thank you. And let's continue now. Norman Hines, you're on. Thank you very much for tuning in. The St. Thomas crew out in their numbers. Rani Bell is also online. Thank you. Thank you all so much for tuning in and coming on board. Let's take the break and come back.
On the land. Children obey your parents in the law.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. The National Irrigation Commission Limited encourages efficient irrigation practices and responsible use of water. By doing so, we will allow the aquifer to be recharged and keep the supply flowing. A message from the National Irrigation Commission Limited. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Living in the positive.
Power Talk on Power 106 FM, finding solutions to the challenges we face in a globalized world. Power Talk, taking talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Herbert Gale on Mondays and Tuesdays and Simon Croskell from Wednesday to Friday as they provide riveting analysis on the issues of the day and speak with stakeholders charged with driving innovation to move Jamaica forward. Tune in for innovative features designed to showcase local developments and highlight how the global issues of the 21st century are being addressed. That's the powerful pair, Dr. Herbert Gale and Simon Croskell on Power Talk, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays, right here on Power 106 FM.
Waiting on your receivables, waiting to purchase raw materials to fulfill your next order, waiting to get paid for goods. 60 days, 90 days, invoices way past due. What 5% of your domestic and foreign receivables, so that if you don't get paid on time, your biggest priority, your business, will not have to wait. Trade credit insurance. Insurance worth having. Credit without waiting. Exim Bank. By helping businesses, we save lives and livelihood.
Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Some stories that made the news through the years we wanted to share with you. There's one in 2005. On this day in 2005, the Gleaner reported Joel Andem, the 42-year-old Gideon Warriors gang leader, showed no sign of remorse when Justice Patrick Brooks sentenced him to 20 years imprisonment. Andem, who became boisterous 2 days before when he was convicted and accused the judge of being unfair, was very calm on this day when the sentence was handed down. That was 2005. Also in 2005, chaos reigned at petrol stations island-wide as long lines of motorists tried desperately to fill their tanks before a 2-day strike threatened by the Jamaica Gasoline Retailers Association, JGRA, took effect. They seem to have pretty much agreed on how they work out their issues. JGRA and the tanker drivers. Over the years, we have had numerous instances of work to rule in terms of strike action. We haven't seen anything along these lines in a little while. I wonder why. Does that mean everything is hunky-dory, or is it that they have gotten better at negotiating and managing the process of making sure the tanker drivers are adequately protected and taken care of, and that the bottom line is also being taken care of. Whatever the reason, you know what we always say, as big people, I can understand children. Children will fool around and engage in all kinds of eeny, meeny, miny, moes, so to speak. But we expect adults to act like adults, responsible adults, to reason, to think, to be fair-minded, to be respectful, and to recognize that it is a two-way street. And we should be able to work things out because we have not just common sense, which is not very common, as we know, but for the most part, there is common sense and there is a sense of what makes sense. And we would hope that more of us in our relationships and our relations will demonstrate a greater level of maturity, quite frankly. And maybe it's coming, I don't know, is it too early to say we're getting somewhere along those lines? I don't know. How far have we come? So that was that. And then in 2004, so that was really a period of instability where petroleum is concerned. 2004, around this time in 2004, there continued to be a shortage of petroleum products in the corporate area, despite the government's assurance that there were adequate supplies. Jamaica had, at the time, had been forced to import petroleum products from Trinidad and Venezuela following an explosion 2 weeks earlier which resulted in a shutdown of operations at the facility. The shortage at the time, around this time in 2004, was reportedly linked to the fact that workers at Trinidad's state-owned oil refinery, Petrochin, had gone on strike. So that was a period of instability in that regard. And 2004, U.S. First Lady Laura Bush officially reopened Pennsylvania Avenue in front of the White House to pedestrians. Of course, this was 2004. Subsequent to that, made further adjustments for those of us who have been back to Washington a few times. The first time we went to Washington, it was just, the place was just quite free. And you could go and sit on the fence of the White House and take pictures on the fence at the White House, which we did. And I remember there were two little boys sitting on the fence, and or just before this, they proceeded to sit on the fence. I think the boys were with both parents, if not both parents, at least with the with the father, and I think their father said to them, the father said to them, and this is the White House, words to that effect. This is where the president lives. And one of the little boys cheekily said, "Yeah, Dad, but he cheated." Remember that election? Yes. I found that quite instructive, and a little child shall lead them. But anyway, that's these days you can't get that close to the White House. You can't get that close. They have all kinds of barricades and security systems, and I think there are the police units that are parked almost permanently around the White House, and that's what terrorism has done to the world. Let's see, and the business of credit ratings and what the credit ratings agencies say about your economy. Again, that's been going on for a long time. On this day in 1999, U.S. creditworthiness agency Standard & Poor's, S&P, gave the country a lower than expected grade. The B credit issue rating for the country's foreign currency debt was at least a grade below the previous rating by rival agency Moody's Investor Service, and puts external debt obligations close to being below investment quality. Domestic debt received a slightly higher grade from S&P of B+, as the country can, in theory, raise taxes and increase money supply. It's one of those things, just like the outcomes of surveys and polls. When the surveys and the polls are in your favor, you want to make a big thing about it. You want everybody to know, and a lot of PR and so on. When the numbers are not in your favor, you play it down, and if you can, you shove it in a corner somewhere with the hope that nobody would realize what's happening. So again, which is why we don't get too excited sometimes when certain people comment on certain matters, because it's like deja vu. We have seen this before. We have heard this before. We've experienced this before. Let's look at 1999. Still in 1999, the Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Omar Davies, warned that the government was no longer in the mood to continue carrying the burdensome financial weight of Air Jamaica after commitments totaling 15 billion Jamaican dollars since its privatization in 1994. These days, $15 billion is not a lot of money, is it? A lot of money, but not a lot of money. Brian Lara was reinstated as West Indies captain for the delayed tour of South Africa after 4 days of talks ended a players' revolt over pay on this day in 1998. The 16-man squad would fly out immediately to start the first post-apartheid tour of the Republic of South Africa by the West Indies, although the first game had been cancelled because of the 7-day standoff between the players and the controlling body. Evander Holyfield joined Muhammad Ali in making history as the second man to become the 3-time world heavyweight champion. On this day in 1996, he accomplished this feat by defeating Mike Tyson at 37 seconds of the 11th round at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas. And let's go to, I'm seeing a couple of notable names here. Right, East German officials on this day in 1989 opened the Berlin Wall, allowing travel from East to West Berlin. The following day, celebrating Germans began to tear the wall down. One of the ugliest and most infamous symbols of the Cold War was soon reduced to rubble that was quickly snatched up by souvenir hunters. The East German, in fact, I think Usain Bolt got a bit of the wall as well. Usain Bolt got a piece of, was it the Berlin Wall? I think so. I think he got a piece of the Berlin Wall. I believe he did. We can always follow up on that. The East German action followed a decision by Hungarian officials a few weeks earlier to open the border between Hungary and Austria. This effectively ended the purpose of the Berlin Wall, since East German citizens could now circumvent it by going through Hungary into Austria and then into West Germany. The decision to open the wall was also a reflection of the immense political changes taking place in East Germany, where the old communist leadership was rapidly losing power and the populace was demanding free elections and movement toward a free market system. The action also had an impact on President George Bush and his advisors. After watching television coverage of the delirious German crowds demolishing the wall, many in the Bush administration became more convinced than ever that Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev's statement about desiring a new relationship with the West must be taken more seriously. Unlike 1956 and 1968, when Soviet forces ruthlessly crushed protests in Hungary and Czechoslovakia, respectively, Gorbachev actually encouraged the East German action. As such, the destruction of the Berlin Wall was one of the most significant actions leading to the end of the Cold War.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock. Tune in every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. to midday for your legal corner with Dahlia Walker Huntington during Power Talk on Power 106 FM. You can call our numbers 876-922-4112-5. The text and WhatsApp line is 876-279-8598. You can also send an email at yourlegalcorner106@gmail.com. Join Your Legal Corner for all matters in relation to immigration to the United States. Here, Dahlia offer great legal advice on your immigration queries and concerns. Learn about the filing process, when to file, and how to prepare for the move. That's Your Legal Corner, 11:30 to midday, every Thursday, right here on Power 106 FM.
Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets.
Here's a story that is trending. Supreme Court gives a go-ahead for $6.4 billion lawsuit by National Fuels against Total Jamaica. The Supreme Court ruled today that the $6.4 billion lawsuit, which gas station network National Fuels and Lubricants filed against French-owned Total Jamaica Limited, must go to trial. Justice Anne-Marie Lawrence Grainer made the ruling when she dismissed a summary judgment application brought by Total to strike out National Fuels' claim. Costs were awarded to National Fuels, and the judge also granted leave to Total to appeal her ruling. In 2019, Royton, and this is a French surname here, Ducombre, that would be the correct pronunciation, the French pronunciation, Ducombre, but it no doubt has been anglicized, so it's Royton de Cambrai, chief executive officer and owner of National Fuels, filed a suit contending that 7 of the properties taken over by Total were never officially transferred and were not paid for. He was seeking $6.4 billion in compensation. Total has denied wrongdoing in its deal with National Fuels. Total contends that its deal with the company covered 10 service stations and other assets valued at $9.1 million US dollars. Total said the sums due were distributed according to agreements struck in 2004 and subsequent periods. And Total has denied committing fraud as alleged by Ducambre. And the story goes on. You can read on the Gleaners, that's the Gleaners story with respect to that $6.4 billion lawsuit filed by National Fuels against Total Jamaica. That's one of the stories trending right now. And here's one coming out of the United Kingdom. The British government says all healthcare staff who work with the public will have to be vaccinated against the coronavirus starting in April, despite concerns the move could drive thousands of people to quit their jobs. Health Secretary Sajid Javid said that 90% of staff in the state-funded National Health Service have already received 2 doses of a vaccine, but that leaves more than 100,000 health workers unvaccinated. So Britain is saying if the healthcare staff do not get vaccinated, well, he's giving them by April of next year to get vaccinated. So we'll see how that goes. Let's go to the phone lines, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. I'm sorry, that person got tired of waiting. Sorry about that. 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. So more and more, we're seeing governments around the world taking steps to impose, if not directly, indirectly, vaccine mandates. And here's the UK government saying by April of next year, all National Health Service, NHS workers must be fully vaccinated. Let's see how that goes. St. James Municipal Corporation working on disaster plan. And there's a picture of the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Richard Vernon. Well, if you're just working on a disaster plan, Councillor Richard Vernon, well, one would like to think and hope that there is such a plan, which is an evolving plan, no doubt, considering climate change and related matters. But surely, what we have seen and we continue to see when St. James and Hanover, as we have seen this past weekend, when they get a little rainfall, the extent of the fallout from that rainfall. We'll come back to that. Let's continue. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Mr. Malcolm.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. So you're playing a beautiful song, man. And thank you very much for the song last week, My Love with Stevie Wonder and Julio Iglesias.
Yes, indeed. You're welcome.
Now, I want to look on the parental pattern in Jamaica.
Yes.
I was born in the middle 60s. So both parents was at home and the community helped to grow me.
You were born at a time when the economy was said to have been booming.
Yes.
Up to 10% a year or something like that, 10 to 12.
And I'm been a product of a proper parental guide. The church also helped to groom me.
Mm.
So therefore, I have never get involved in any trouble. And I have a son who is 22 and a daughter is 33.
Before you go on, though, there's a there's a narrative on two fronts about that period, the 60s.
Yes.
One side who say look, and it is a fact that the economy, the evidence is there. You can check the archives of the growth in the economy. But there's another set of people who say yes, that was all well and good, but in terms of the impact on the majority of the people, that wasn't there. It was only a few benefiting. I'm just wondering, as one who lived in that time, although you were pretty young at the time, what was your sense of how things were for you and your family in the mid 60s in Jamaica?
Well, the thing about it, we had a privileged few, and so you have a major factor in the society were like struggling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember most major town in Jamaica, they were the shopkeepers were the Chinese people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you have in some community a lot of Indians, and they were tend to be the more we call it progressive than some of the black people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and but my family we were poor, yes, but we survived. We you know, because it wasn't too bad, you know.
Oh, I see. Sorry, but go ahead. You wanted to say something else on
So I'm a father of
parenting.
2 kids,
Mm-hmm.
and I grew them the best way I know how.
Yes.
And when my son was like 15, I gave him a smartphone. I was working overseas, so I come to Jamaica like 2 times for the year. And you know, the mom, I said to her, "You need to check the phone to see what's going on."
Mm-hmm.
Her excuse, she don't know how to use smartphone. They said, "But let him teach you."
Mm-hmm.
When I came and I checked the phone, I said I have a password in it. I said, "No, you're a kid. You're not supposed to have that on." And when he got him to take it off, and when I check the phone, some things I see, and I call him and I said, "Look at this. These things are under your nose, and you wouldn't know because you need to pay attention because these kids will try to outsmart you." And their information available because at that time the internet may not be as popular as now, but their information, you can talk with other parents and see what they're going through in order to help you to make better decisions, better choices. If you're having a problem, you call me and let me know. You know how to get to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very happy to say my 2 kids came out well and they are productive citizens of society.
Very good.
Because of proper parental guide.
Yeah, that's important. That's crucial.
Yes.
Makes all the difference. Sorry, go ahead.
So. I have seen where several parents are telling me that they can't manage their kid. I say, you got to be kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Every parent have challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you have a kid, might be nursing a child and the child bites you on the breast and you don't reprimand the child at that early age. They're going to continue to do it and go further and further because they think it's okay.
Yes.
So you need to know where to draw the line, how to put your foot down. You may not be able to be as smarter than with these modern day maths, but you're supposed to upgrade yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because most parents today, they have an understanding of what the system is like. But they have the tendency, government, no, the government can't do everything.
Yeah.
We as parents, we must play our role. Stand up and be counted. You don't have to beat a child for the child to grow good. Because my child is to take away privileges from him.
Yeah. Well, my mother didn't have to raise a finger, at least in my case. We just knew what was acceptable and what wasn't, and there was always the look.
That's
you know when you get that look.
My mom always do that to me.
Yes.
You know. So parents today, there's no excuse for you to stand your ground. Because I remember I was somewhere in St. Anna and I saw the little boy was keep on telling his mom he want to go somewhere, and the mom said no. And it didn't stop annoying the mom till the mom started to use the Jamaican expletive to the child.
Oh no.
And the child was just 5-year-old.
Uh-oh. Mm.
So we know that parents will get frustrated because it's a part of our makeup.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you channel that frustration that the child do not have a negative view of you?
That is it.
Because one of the key things that parents need to do is to make your child or children trust you, believe in you. Kids should be pointed to look at role models that can help them to foster better behavior, greater responsibility. Because when I was a child coming up, Dr. Martin Luther King was my hero. And I have a next door neighbor. My father was the type who come in and talk and hug you and, so how you doing? I love you, my son. But I used to see that neighbor do that to his kids, and I said, that's how I want to grow my kids. And my daughter, she's 33. When I see her, if I don't hug her, she said, Dad, you don't hug me. She wants to get, I love you. Because I grew them up that way,
Yes.
And when kids are grown up with love, with both parents, they tend to make better choices.
Mm-hmm.
And my son presently have a child, and I said to him, look, it's your responsibility like what I did with you. If you believe the child is not yours, do a DNA, but once you accept it, you must play your role.
Take responsibility.
Yes.
Yes.
And I've seen, and he makes me proud of him because he's doing a great job so far.
Very good.
So parents need to realize that many times the way we talk to our kids, the way we nurture them, have a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a granddaughter. She's now in the United States doing her doctorate. She's doing neurosurgeon. And when she was 3-year-old, I said to her, you know that light on the light post is the moon? She said, no, granddad. I said, how you know that? My mommy told me it's the street light. So to show you how an impact parents will have on their kids.
Yes.
Because she didn't take my little argument. She said, no, mommy didn't tell me that. So this is why parents, you need to spend time with your kids. Look at the behavioral pattern, because they have this Jamaican saying, chicken go and big, you see it in foot.
Mm.
So
that one is new to me. Say that chicken go and big.
You see it in foot.
You see it in foot. I see what you mean. Hold on, one moment, please.
Honey, your father, that your days may be long on the land.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Welcome to the new dimension in eye care, the Optical Zone, offering exceptionally comfortable eyewear. We fill prescriptions and do eye examinations. This complete optical store is conveniently located at Shop 14, York Plaza, Halfway Tree. Telephone 929-8656. The Optical Zone, providing vision for life.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and this Wednesday, November 10, we'll discuss the basics of diabetes and speak to our partners at the Heart Foundation about the effects of diabetes on the heart. Tune in and hear an exciting, healthy conversation with Dr. Jackie Campbell as she focuses on types, causes, symptoms, and testing for diabetes. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine, PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century, National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living, Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water, Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town, Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2, Old Harbor, and Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, November 10 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Children obey your parents in the law. This is a law.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. You shared a bit of a gem or a proverb or a ditty, whatever we call them these days, a short while ago before going to the break.
Yes.
Wonder if you could expound on it. You were give it to us again, because it's the first time I'm hearing it.
They said chicken go and get big, you see it in the foot.
Chicken go and get big, you see it in the foot.
Yes.
And the explanation
It's like a lot of steps that we make as a child coming up, attitude has been demonstrated. So now if you're looking closely, you will see where the child is heading to, the behavioral pattern,
Oh.
That's how my mom gave it to me.
All right, fair enough.
So
anyway, continue.
one of the things I used to do family life workshop in the churches, and one of the things that I always encourage parents, you need to look at your child behavioral pattern, because some of them, they will have this anger and they easily get frustrated. No, you need to channel that, because don't tell them that they will grow it out. You need to channel it and help them to work through it, because a lot of our kids will grow with this anger when they become adults. That's what caused some of them to kill and to go to prison, because there was nobody to guide them through these challenges. And uncontrolled anger causes so much problems. So we need to look at the child behavioral pattern, because when I was going to high school, there was two guys there. They were bullied, and peers who make a lot of complaints to their parents, and they never do nothing about it. When they leave school, end up in prison because they become gunmen. So the signs were there, but it was ignored. When children are frustrated, we need to help to work them through the frustration that they're having, that we can have them to be channeled into the proper way of life. We need to understand that we need to love and show respect to them too. Don't think because they're a child, we can bully them and say, look, boy, you know no manners. You don't see me. May you sleep together? No. You first see the child when they wake up. Good morning, son. How are you? Sleep good? So we need to have them to understand that there's a time where, we're going to have this family discussion, family talk. You want to hear their point of view. What you think and so and so. And teach them to really glean from an early age that they can develop their English, plus they can have a greater understanding about life around them. Look at people in the community who are positive influence. Try to emulate those people. Don't look at the negative, because one of the things that is happening to a lot of our young people, the rich quick mentality. And this is why some of them end up in scamming and drugs. We need to show them the value of work, the value of saving. Because when a child is pretty young, we can teach them to save, even if you don't have it, you put a $10 aside every week or every 2 days. You give them lunch money to go to school, they bring back a $5 for the saving plan. And this will teach them discipline. And by say age 5, you started this program. When they reach age 20, there's something substantial there. You can take it to the bank and open an account for them. But our parents need to understand that you have to be smart, especially with these modern day kids. Don't let them outsmart you. Information is at the tip of your fingertips, because we have the smartphone and everything is on the internet. We also have to monitor their phone. I remember one morning I saw a 7-year-old girl going to school, and when she came out of the house, the music she was playing, and I called to her and she turned it off. So we cannot take things for granted, because if we want the best out of our children, we have to stand up and work with them that they can be productive citizens in society and don't become a place where we're having so much people in jail. And I keep saying, if you build a prison and they're full, you build another one and they become full, you got to look at the system that is breeding these criminals.
That's right.
And the home plays a very important role. Also, I always say to parents, do not think it is wise in this time to go and have a lot of kids, because sometimes you may not be able to manage to maintain them, and it will bring a level of frustration on you, and the kids, they may not be able to get the best education, they may not be able to get the best of what you wanted to give them. And as a kid coming up, parents will say, I've struggled and I don't want my kid to struggle the way I struggled. So therefore, I will put in different mechanisms in place that when they grow up, they can have a better way of life. But the key thing is to have a better way of life is a proper education. Self-worth, self-respect. If you don't have self-respect, it's going to be difficult for you to be an achiever, because you're going to think everybody is beneath you.
Yes.
And when you have that kind of mentality, you can't reach far. To be humble is good.
True.
My respect, sir.
No, thank you very much. You've said a lot, and I've been listening, and you're spot on. And this is how we really should share with each other, whatever our experience, our collective experiences have been or are. Let's learn from each other. Yes, every child is different, every family is different, but surely there are certain elements we could take into account in helping to improve our parent-child relationships and just inter-family relationships, generally speaking.
And the key thing is children need love and attention from their parents. Once they get in that, it's much easier to handle them.
True. We are, some of us are testament to that.
Yes.
Yes. Thanks
My
a
pleasure,
lot.
sir.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Teacher Malcolm. How are you?
I am giving thanks for life. And you?
So I'm giving thanks to Sir Marco.
Good.
And boy, how fascinating. I got onto the program just while you're lecturing, you're teaching. And I said, oh my word, look at the lecture we're getting for free. A world of knowledge about the world and our people. Eh? And then this gentleman came on and I was like, whenever I will be lucky enough to call to share some of my experiences too.
Mm-hmm.
And when the producer entered me and I said, wow, I would love to speak to Teacher Malcolm. And he said, that's old. And I've been holding from that time. So Malcolm,
yes,
two
sir.
things I want to talk about.
Please go ahead.
And I learned one of these things from I want to call him Professor Shalman Scott.
Mm-hmm.
That in 1886, Jamaica ran out of money, and a ship with oil came to Montego Bay, docked, and was going to leave with the oil because the Bank of Jamaica didn't have money to pay for it. But he called the name of I think the then Minister of Energy, some Hugh Hart, I think, who actually had to borrow or get money from businessmen in and around Montego Bay side. 3 policemen, he said, came to Bank of Jamaica with the money, got a check and went back to the ship. And that was how the oil was given to us. And I'm like, wow. But I was born in 50s. So
1886, you said?
No, 1986.
Oh, I thought I heard
1986. 1986, he said. And I was like, oh my God. I heard him talking to, I don't remember who it was, and telling him of the story. And I'm like, he said he was the mayor of Montego Bay at the time. And this is why he was able to speak that
so
way.
Jamaica ran out of
money. Yes, the Bank of Jamaica didn't have any money in 1986. You could research it. And he said that ship with oil came to Montego Bay and docked and was going to turn back with the oil because we didn't have money to pay for it. But the late Minister Hugh Hart galvanized and got some of his business partners in and around and got the money. 3 policemen, and he called him one of the policemen who was in charge, rode bikes from Mobile to Kingston, lodged him into Bank of Jamaica, got a check and brought it back to Mobile, paid the ship captain or whomever for the oil, and that was how the oil was received by Jamaica. I was so frightened when I heard it. I've never heard it before.
Oh.
And I'm seriously, I'm wondering, how come we don't know these things as people of our country?
This information is the Planning Institute of Jamaica has quite an impressive library.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy their publications. You can research this kind of material. The Bank of Jamaica has this information as well.
Okay.
So it's not nobody's hiding anything from anybody. The information is available if people want it.
Okay. But I've never heard that before, And since I met somebody who's gonna, try to research these things. And I'm like, but these are things that Jamaicans should know. But I want to concur with the gentleman who spoke here last though about growing up, because I was born in the 50s too. After Malcolm, it was the village who actually grew me. And all my brothers and my one sister. Yeah? And my mother and father got 11, I was 10 boys, 1 girl, 9 boys up in the street, same mother, same father. And guess what? We were poor kids, but we were humble and we were hard-working kids because our dad was a farmer. All of us planted the work of field, we raised goat, we raised cow, we raised pigs, you name it. But though we were poor, we were never hungry. You know what? We were able to give to other people in the community food. Because every Sunday I had to carry this little thing called chariot with yam in one, meat in the one, and rice in one. Go give to people who my mother thought was a little less fortunate than us. And I remember a story that I tell to people. I told to my children, and they laughed. When I was 14, I didn't do common entrance. So I did what's it called again? Technical entrance, and started high school. I was 14, going 15 then. And I remember having left high school, came home for holidays. My mother sent me to a liquor shop to buy goods. Had to walk 2.5 miles. On my way back, I delayed a little bit because I was seeing some of my school friends who we used to play cricket with. After a long while, I went into another district after a long while. Delayed a little bit, so I was coming back kind of dusk hours. And you'd never believe, on my way back walking home, I heard the voice of some men. And among the voices I heard was my last principal, my primary school principal. Dervan, you know what I did? I went into a bar and I walked and hide.
Really?
And you know what I did?
Why?
Where I hid? I didn't want him to ask me where I was coming from this hour that evening.
Oh.
Because I couldn't tell him that. My mother sent me out. And he was going to say, no, but why are you coming home so late? So I still believe I was going to get a beating from him, even though I was not at the school anymore. I was going to high school now. And I think this was how most, if not all of us as children grew up. In our district, we grew up knowing that the adults in and around us had responsibility for us. We also grew up knowing that you couldn't whistle, you couldn't curse bad word, you couldn't use obscene languages in the hearing of an adult because you would get a whopping. And then you'd have to beg them, please don't go and tell mommy or daddy. Yeah, because you're going home to another one. And this is part of the breakdown that we would have been having in our society.
Yes.
Where we're having the kind of struggles, I believe, with indiscipline and criminality and crime and violence. Believe it.
Yeah, well, in all of this, no matter how bad the situation is, those of us who can do better, who know better, should just do better in trying to minimize the fallout, or trying to ensure that we have less people who are going down the slippery slope than those who are heading towards greatness. One moment, please.
You contribute directly to Jamaica's national development when you pay your customs duties. Let's all do our part in keeping the wheels of our economy turning. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:30. Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and this Wednesday, November 10, we'll discuss the basics of diabetes and speak to our partners at the Heart Foundation about the effects of diabetes on the heart. Tune in and hear an exciting, healthy conversation with Dr. Jackie Campbell as she focuses on types, causes, symptoms, and testing for diabetes. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine, PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century, National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living, Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water, Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town, Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor, and Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, November 10 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is a law, and the prophets Honey, your mother that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they would do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is the law and the prophets. Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Thanks for your patience. Are you still there?
Yes, I am still.
Yes.
And you ended your remark by saying those of us who can do better should do better.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you, too many of our adult folks have gotten so afraid. They see little kids doing terrible things on the street side, going to school, in the streets, wherever they are, and they're afraid to say to them, little boy, little girl, you can't behave like that or continue to behave like that. You have to behave better than that. The adults say, well, I'm afraid because I don't want their parents or their guardian to do whatever. And I'm like, hey, as the boy to me, a girl is a girl to me. I never forget, so Dervan, I left teaching a couple years well and selling insurance. And on my way to work in Spanish Town one day, I thought as the girl, as the boy, fighting at Crescent Primary School. And I drove my car, stopped. Didn't you remember that I didn't take out the key or nothing? I just stopped and decided I was going to pull them apart. And I ran across the street, parted them. A gentleman came down and said, "Are you a teacher, son?" And I said, "Yeah, man. Tell me I'm not teach long time. I stopped teaching long time, rather." And I held them both, and the man took the boy from me. crowd of kids because it was a morning shift school. I mean, a break for morning shift. And I said to the kids, those who are walking home, leave now. Those who are waiting for taxi, go over there. And you know, I said, five of the boys were kind of circling me. And I watched them. And I called two girls who had on prefect badges. I said, little girls, why are those little boys? Why are they behaving like that? And they said, sir, they're the ones where the little girl and the boy were fighting. The little girl blows was torn off her. You could see her two little breasts. She started to burst. And the gentleman took her because she was living close by and took her home. And you know what? I watched them, and the little boys were still there circling me. And you see, when they took their eyes off me, usually wear a leather belt. And I took off my belt. And when I started to lick skin, you know, I hear a woman cross the road say, Jesus wants some more man like every party at daytime. Because every day they fight, you know, sir. When I went to my office and told them, you know, they thought that I was too brave. And this was Spanish town, and what if? And I'm like...
But there are those, of course, who would disagree with the use of the whip, though. You know that.
No, but I hear you, but guess what? You said because when I was young, little whip touched me too, and it never made me any worse than I am now. I never mind doing that. I never cut up none of them. I just thought that I wanted to show that, hey, you are kids. I'm an adult and I don't know them and I don't remember who they are. They don't remember probably who I am now. But I believe that children must realize that they are children and they must be taught that they are kids and have respect for adults.
Yeah.
And if more people are doing that, I don't think we'd have so much.
We should be able to reason with them, though.
Yeah, I know, but they were not up to reasoning because they just keep circling me as if you could see the attitude. Who is he? Where is he from? Why is he stopping our show? I wasn't going to have none of that. Because they were all smaller than my first grandchild. So, pick me them for me.
Yes.
But seriously, too many of us as adults are afraid of telling the children that they're rude and they must stop doing that and talk to them if needs be. We're afraid because we know how the mother chopped me up for a shoot or the father or whomever. But
well, you did at the time what you
what I thought was best. Right, believe it, yes. Yes. So Malcolm, just keep doing what you're doing, keep educating, keep helping us to understand that we all need to be a part of it because we all need to be a part of it.
Indeed.
We all need to continue to be a part of it. Because one of the things that I tell myself is that this is a place that I'm always going to live. So since I'm always going to live here and I have to live with everybody else that lives here, we have to try to have families and neighbors who are friendly and nice and warm and all of that around us.
Yep.
Our lives are going to be misery. I don't need to be watching to see if somebody can cut on my grill. I don't want that. I want to go to my bed and sleep comfortable. If I have to go to my bed and I watch if somebody cut on grill, I don't want that.
Well, let's all continue to play our part because we need all hands on deck.
On deck.
And one hand can't clap.
Never. Never. My grandmother taught me that. Because I take care of that.
You too. All the best. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir. It's a good day here.
Good day.
Hot, but cozy can be still.
Yeah, so it is.
That Bridget who just spoke a while ago, I can relate to 99% of what he was saying growing up in the country as a youth.
You mean you were one of those who had to be whipped as well? Or?
Yeah, man.
Oh.
It had to be. They chose to do it, but it served as a deterrent from doing the things where if you weren't afraid of the whipping, you wouldn't do it.
Right.
But because when they take out the whip and put it down and send you a shop, you can't play marble and play gig, while the water dry out on the pot and them wait on it, sit there and send you go buy if you put in it. So, you can buy it. And my heart was to sing the things that they send me go buy,
To try not to forget.
Bubakaya, Kubaka, you know, so you get a slap.
Quarter bread and ounce of best butter.
Best butter rich people sitting, man. You buy a butter, you just call the butter and then take your time butter pan. The anchor butter.
Yes.
You buy big July oil, quarter pound of fish.
That's right.
And sugar. A pound of flour. And make a caramel to mix with the white flour. And sing that half pound of big July oil, 1 pound of flour, 1 pound of fish, and you know, top say that till you reach shop, you know.
And then here's the problem now. You're heading home and you're hopping and skipping, and the money falls out of your hand.
Yeah, you change.
You lose the change.
So you get them and send you back and look for you.
Exactly.
You don't know where you job. But nah, get nothing at tonight.
Try go and look fit.
You don't come back here without you know. They're torturing more than the liquor bar like you did. I only for the serious part have. When I get the lick, they run on a bed in a bar to me, and then they put the kids in the pan. And they choose, and then we tap.
Yes.
You know, when I used to go home for lunch, you know, man, I latest go back at school and I have to walk far. Teacher Kelly, they on the front step and look for the latecomers, you know. We don't want strap, we brought about 3 inches and long. It's when you reel out that and slap with your hand. You say if you ever draw with your hand and make it licking pan, you put over your back, you get that, you know. So sometimes we put our cardboard in our carpet shut back, you know. When they find out that a double beaten. But, you know, it was not murderation.
Well, there you're making a distinction. Hold the break. Let's come back and talk about the difference between a physical reprimand and murderation, as you put it.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and this Wednesday, November 10, we'll discuss the basics of diabetes and speak to our partners at the Heart Foundation about the effects of diabetes on the heart. Tune in and hear an exciting, healthy conversation with Dr. Jackie Campbell as she focuses on types, causes, symptoms, and testing for diabetes. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine, PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century, National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living, Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water, Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town, Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2, Old Harbor, and Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, November 10 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Thanks for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Miss Needham is waiting in the wings. Rascava is on. You were making a distinction, Rascava, in a physical reprimand and murderation.
Murderation now where you take a fire pick and burn a picnic and beat them with all kind of we cut them. That leave mark on them, chop them with pan on their head. Me get one chop in my head with butter pan, you know, man, I'm guilty, you know. Me have some cousin and them can't find them ball and then turn up on the yard and call to me if you can't back them ball. And me granny here. And I said, me tell you, so you know, if you go there yard, you know, if you go there and go in a made chop, you know, man, I know me can't feel the mark, you know, I never take with them ball, you know, after that they go find them ball, you know, so. And me still get it chopped. But murderation and using the strapping or the whipping as a deterrent is more by biblical people them use to follow, you know. Don't spoil the rod, don't save the rod and spoil the child. That's their tagline that they always use. But it never, as the man said, it never made me a worse child than I used to be because me played that beating. So Me not on the road long, me not go trouble people sitting, and me not turn tell them lie. If they ever find anything and carry home, they must say, look how much yai in our school, what make a pay your yai alone, if you see it, carry back. And you have to carry back of the teacher. Teacher that was. So those are the things where flagging make children really work in line with. But one of the things that I don't agree with him that was our heritage and he mix it up with it is we never, one thing we couldn't call we friend and nobody dog, we couldn't call them jankro, and if you ever merge it two of them and say that you're jankro dog, you know stop great beating for that. So we never used to do those things. And if the big people them have disagreement and a quarrel, picnic can't come in life. And like now the big people them at quarrel and the picnic they have fun to tell them the biggest longest one down the road. We couldn't do that. Neither could we call our children kid. We call them pick me, boy and girl. But he's so caught up in the kids that he not left out the other already and say one time he has children and the children must know so they are twins. So I guess that's my growing up, but if you never grow up now, man. And as I said, Benjamin, I have to when you call them, when you animalize them as youth and call them kid, when they grow up, they don't want to be called kids anymore. They call themselves dogs. So they develop the characteristics of the dog, and they know what the dog will do and won't do, because the dog will want the mother, the daughter, and the maid same time. So them grow the children, them when you give them names, you know, they live by it. Yeah. That's why you call your children prince and a princess. They want to live royally. So we need to give them something that they can live by as their name, as in Africa. One other little quick thing, Miss Nida, what's so come? NHS. What's the real purpose of NHS?
The National Health Fund?
Yeah.
I'd have to check their website to see what their mission is. But we would like to think to ameliorate whatever health related issues that the members of the general population have, to engage in public awareness campaigns from the preventative side. So you have work on the preventative side, outreach, regular checkups, etc. And on the other side, you have the treatment, the response to whatever conditions.
That is the drug serve. They operate the drug serve pharmacies.
Yes.
In the hospitals and the clinics and supporting pharmacy, participating pharmacies. But they said that there's this street gentleman I told you about. Now in the hospital, and the doctors are saying he needs $30,000 to do some tests. So not the health fund we have boast so much $1 billion they have in it fund of such costs.
They do have a compassionate fund. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember if it's in the Ministry of Health itself or a part of the National Health Fund. I'm not sure. I think it might be in the ministry. So if there are members of the general public who are having difficulty finding the resources for certain specialist treatment, they can appeal to the fund. I'm not sure the extent to which that has been working, but within the Ministry of Health, as well as I understand it, there is a health foundation. So it's a charitable organization within the Ministry of Health, which benefits from gifts, grants, etc., from whether foreign governments or members of the diaspora, so that in the event that there is a need, or as the need arises, one could, through the foundation, make a contribution to the appropriate outcome for whichever patient is applying for that kind of assistance. So there are vehicles, there are options, whether these are being maximized or otherwise being made manifest is another matter, because I don't have enough information in that regard. But it really should be that the Ministry of Health, the National Health Fund, the Health Foundation, and the Compassionate Fund, all of those entities, the ministry being the overarching one, should really be working together in a targeted way to ensure that as many people who need assistance can get assistance. And if they need to publicize the ways in which people can contribute, whether to the Compassionate Fund or the Health Foundation within the ministry, etc., then bring it to the public. Let's come and talk to us. Let's spread the word so that we help to shore up those resources. Because who knows when we ourselves might very well be in need of extra resources to deal with health issues.
Can one reach to those offices by the national health offices, like the Ministry of Health, or like from the hospitals, CEOs, or you have to go straight to the ministry?
Well, this is the question I'm asking, which is what I was saying earlier on. I don't know the extent to which these entities are functional, as in doing what they are supposed to do or doing what they say they have been set up to do.
Can you find out that the next time the question might ask, the benefit from the answer to?
Yeah, well, you know, in the early days of the pandemic, I sent a message to the health minister in the very early days of the pandemic in 2020, and not even a reply since then. So I haven't looked in that direction since, because I'm quite easy. I'm into yes or no. It's either you are available or you're not available. We're not going to, So let's see who else I'll be able to speak with. Maybe Mr. Cephas. Mr. Cephas runs the Health Foundation within the Ministry of Health. I think I have a number for him, so I can find out from him.
Get him as a guest on your show to explain some of these unanswered questions that are out there.
If he will come, I'm sure we have tried before, but we could try again. It's just that he's not he is seized of the significant role that he's supposed to be playing within the Ministry of Health, and the type of person you can talk with. And I have enough evidence based on people who have interacted with him that he means well and he does his work. So I'll be happy to call him again. I'm sure I called him already to talk about something off air, to clarify something, and that was it. But I'll see if I can invite him next time, as in the earliest opportunity.
Thank you, sir, on behalf of that man.
Sure, no problem. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's say hello and welcome to Ms. Needham, who has been holding on the WhatsApp line for 12 minutes and 32 seconds. Somebody was holding longer than that? Hold on a second, Ms. Needham. Somebody was holding longer than 12 minutes? 15. Ms. Needham, it's a long hold, because the program assistant on duty is telling us that there's a caller who has been holding for at least 15 minutes so far. So the caller has you out by about 2 minutes and some seconds. So please bear with us. If you can continue to hold. Let's go to the caller then.
Hello,
Let's go to the caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can I just use your program to highlight something?
What's happening?
Are you dwelling on a particular subject?
No, man, go ahead. What's happening? Right. What's the problem?
Help me to understand. School reopened on Monday, right?
Yesterday, yes.
How long is this going to be for?
That's a question that the Minister of Education, Youth and Information should be able to answer.
All right, so we're gonna need that how long it's going to last for, and when is the Christmas break?
The Christmas break is likely to be the same, around the same time. What's that? A week before Christmas or something like that?
That's next month.
Uh-huh.
All right. Why I'm asking though, I was looking at, because school has been out for so long. Yes, we want school to be reopened, right? I'm thinking that have it run, then let us wait until the January reopen. So at least parents can make preparation again rather than being in this rush, especially with the prediction of a fourth wave. Yes?
So
I don't know if
as it is now, the decisions were made not off the cuff. Decisions were made based on data, data gathered with the help of, I think, Mona Geoinformatics Institute, really scientific, design-oriented, meticulous data gathering, which helped the ministry to identify particular schools based on their population, based on the size of the school plant and the capacity to the capacity of the school plant to accommodate a certain number of students, taking into account physical distancing, etc. So some thought went into that. As to whether we know what the end game is or where this is heading, that would be a function of the vision of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, and how they see that vision unfolding as far as these 370 odd schools that have resumed face-to-face classes are concerned.
And you see, the thing is, to Mr. Malcolm, these are the type of movements now that have persons really questioning, because this now, with you having the children out for so long, and with the prediction now of them being in the group that is next up for vaccination, and with the prediction of a fourth wave, right?
I'm sorry, hold on. I will allow you to continue on the point after the break.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock. Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and this Wednesday, November 10, we'll discuss the basics of diabetes and speak to our partners at the Heart Foundation about the effects of diabetes on the heart. Tune in and hear an exciting, healthy conversation with Dr. Jackie Campbell as she focuses on types, causes, symptoms, and testing for diabetes. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine, PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century, National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living, Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water, Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town, Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor, and Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, November 10 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Que hora es en español? Son las 4:01. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:01. 现在七点了，4点01分. A minute past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now's a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Thanks for holding.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm. So as I was saying, so these are the sort of things now that have us raising questions, right? So I don't know if they could just give us more information, how long this first phase is going to last for, and is it going to be the same schools that are going to continue? You know, and then now, how is it that they're transitioning with the prediction of a fourth wave, knowing that it's our children now that is going to be projected to take the vaccine?
Yeah. Those are all pertinent questions, and which which have implications for the decisions that will need to be made or have been made. But the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information cannot, on its own, make that decision. That the decision of the Ministry of Education has to be informed by the science.
Yes, and we understand they always saying follow the science, but at least put the information down to the level where everyone is aware of what is taking place. So those are something also with the tracking of the vaccine. I think they need to be more open as well. So let's say a batch of vaccine comes in 10,000, right? Out of that 10,000, you're going to be vaccinated, let's say X amount, right? Give us some idea of what amount now is going to be expiring and that you're going to be getting rid of, rather than just just throwing some numbers out there to say we have destroyed X amount. We need to be in the know and not just passing information over our heads.
Yes.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Especially with what is happening. Help us to be in the know, as you are saying, as our Prime Minister is saying, we are not so much of being educated. So help us to understand what is happening.
Yes.
I really appreciate this medium in having my question here, and I appreciate your program. And thanks also to Miss Needham by giving me this opportunity.
All right.
Bless you,
Thank
Mr. Malcolm.
Thank you very much. Bless you too. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. I think we're going to Miss Needham right now. She just couldn't hold any longer, apparently. Miss Needham has left the building. Sorry about that. Right. But please feel free to call us back, Miss Needham, and I think she's calling back now. Good afternoon, Miss Needham. Thanks for your patience.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm. Turn the music. Yes, Mr. Malcolm. Pertaining to... Hello?
I'm listening.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, pertaining to what Raskava said, I support Raskava a lot. Those country days when we grow up in the country, it was so nice, Mr. Malcolm. I remember when my mother used to put the dry can to soak and grate a heat and cover it up with the can trash and make the can sweat, and then she grate a heat and cook the cow skin and then for overnight and make it in the gravy and the breadfruit, not nice, so Mr. Malcolm. And the good old tired in arrowroot porridge and all those things, Mr. Malcolm. I tell you, boy, I miss my mother. From she died, I don't get a good meal like those, Mr. Malcolm.
I can well imagine, but surely you have learned a thing or two from her cooking and should be able to replicate a few of those dishes.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, and the bad part soup and the chocho bud and all those things.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, Mr. Malcolm, where Raskava was talking about schooling. I remember one time, like, when you live in the country and this neighbor send dinner, go get the next one and the next one.
Yes.
Not like some of these I mean. And before me reach, Mama start call me. The gravy not even throw it in her next plate from the neighbor here, she start call me. Sometimes the neighbor have to say, Lord Jesus, me have to run back. And when those elderly people did used to die in the country, Mr. Malcolm, and we go to 9 night. Me see my friend, them a get up, say them a go a bathroom, and Mama put me in a corner upon one chair and say, sit down there, so girl. And if you say me want to go to the bathroom, my flashlight she turn on, carry me in the bathroom, and me have to go back on the chair. And she don't have to talk, Mr. Malcolm, just look and him out. Me know if he sit down. And me I tell you, say, Mr. Malcolm, if at night time, over bed corner, me have to go. Me know in our next room, I sleep and she in our next room. But you see, when me sum up everything, Mr. Malcolm, it was for me one a good.
Mm-hmm.
Mama never wrong yet. She go you the right way. Me remember one time we go in school, Mr. Malcolm, and they did have one song playing in Cheerio, Cheerio, baby. And my friend them give me them book. And me not dancing on Mr. Malcolm. Me stand up and listen. Cheerio, Cheerio, baby. And I did go up and switch me feel pa me foot, Mr. Malcolm, and jump like Jackie. And that's where all of the book. When I reach a yard, Mr. Malcolm, and I bid me reach. And he go have a switch. Meet up for me when me come out a pure wheat in the palm and Mr. Malcolm. I tell you, if I could hear his songs, if I could hear my mother pray again, I just love the way she. Me did I say Mr. Malcolm say she miserable and she, but it was for me good, Mr. Malcolm. Yeah. I never go let go when me bring my husband go country, them ask me say how can get me. Because I know none of them done, they can look for me and say me and them I did nothing. And mama go me very at 6 o'clock come Mr. Malcolm, you hear the door shut, bow like prison. Go on over bedside. So
or somebody would say, come go up. Or come go over.
Come go over bed corner, girl. And from you get a little minty, Mr. Malcolm, and the 2 crackers and go over bedside. Not until daylight.
Right.
So I can support Rascava. The whole days time it was the best, Mr. Malcolm. Best. Yes. And Mr. Malcolm, I would like to get in touch with this doctor. She was very nice to my children. She is Dr. Daly. She also at the Glen Vincent Clinic in Crossroad.
What's her name again?
Her name is Dr. Daly.
Dr. Daly.
Her name is Dr. Daly, Mr. Malcolm. She was very nice to my children, them. I don't know where she is. She have a sister who live at the Oakland apartment. She was an air hostess. I used to work with the sister. Yeah. But I don't know if she's still there. And I would like to get in touch again with Mrs. June Hines. She's a very nice lady, just like you. She helped me to get the road fixed in my...
I haven't heard that name in a very long time. June Hines used to be on the public eye.
Yes, I don't know where she is, Mr. Malcolm. So any of you kind listeners know where is she or Dr. Daly, or if our sister is listening, Mrs. Silvera, and get in touch with you, you could give them my number, please.
Sure.
And you take care, Mr. Malcolm. You are very patient and sweet.
You're very kind. Thank you for your call. All the best. This is your program, Thank you. Both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Ralph has a lot to say. Where do we start? Ralph says, hello, Dervan. I hope all is well with you. The NHT, and just a moment, because there's a call coming in, but let's get back to the message. The NHT Ruthven story seems to be creating a lot of unease for many people, which I don't understand why. NHT contribution is a statutory deduction primarily for PAYE income earners. They also receive contributions from self-employed voluntary contributors. After 7 years, contributors can start getting their refunds. Although the mission of the NHT is to improve the quality of life of Jamaicans by facilitating home ownership and community development, particularly among low-income people. However, the funds are not limited to only poor or low-income people. Many middle and upper-class people contribute more to the NHT as a percentage of their income than lower-income individuals. Yet, we've hardly ever seen properties developed by the institution to supply the upper income market. So why the noise about the Ruthven Road development? The level of reasoning among many of our fellow Jamaicans is very poor. We need to elevate our level of discourse. Our education ministry has a huge task of retooling the education system. They need to become surrogate parents because many of our homes are not equipped to deal with high level reasoning. If you think it isn't true, listening to some of your earlier programs and listening to the level of thinking, or you look at Twitter, the level of thinking is part of why we are where we are. Thank you very much for your message, Ralph. It is a point that has to be made that contributors to the NHT run right across the spectrum in terms of their contributions. And the NHT for years has been instrumental in providing housing solutions for the lower to what's it now, lower middle income to the very poor. So that's the group that has been primarily served by the NHT from the standpoint of building houses for the masses, so to speak. And Ralph is right. The point needs to be made that there are others who have contributed, upper middle income and upper middle income, who contribute to the NHT as well. Why shouldn't they have the option of houses within their income bracket? Since after all, they are contributors too. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. Tune in every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. to midday for your legal corner with Dahlia Walker Huntington during Power Talk on Power 106 FM. You can call our numbers 876-922-4112-5. The text and WhatsApp line is 876-279-8598. You can also send an email at yourlegalcorner106@gmail.com. Join Your Legal Corner for all matters in relation to immigration to the United States. Here, Dahlia offer great legal advice on your immigration queries and concerns. Learn about the filing process, when to file, and how to prepare for the move. That's Your Legal Corner, 11:30 to midday, every Thursday, right here on Power 106 FM.
Children, obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they would do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is the law and the prophets. as the devil do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is a law and the prophets. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is a law on the prophets. Love your parents as how you love yourself. Do unto others as they would do to you. Honor your mother, your father, that your days may be long on the land. Children, obey your parents in the law. This is the law and the prophets.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:19. ¿Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:19. 现在几点了？4点19分. Well, it just changed. It's now 20 minutes. It was 19 minutes a short while ago, past 4 o'clock. It's now 20 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Right. Is the caller still there? Oh no, we have a caller on this device here from Florida. That one was before Florida. This one has been holding, let's see, for 15. Hold on. No, that's not it. Hold on. Holding for 9 minutes, 34 seconds. So that one. Okay, so the call, yeah, we have a caller before the person on the WhatsApp line. So let's go to that caller. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
We haven't heard this voice in centuries. How are you?
I'm good, man. Working and, hearing up the people and took both sides of the story center and Higgintown folks,
Oh, you're in Higgintown. You're no longer in Florida. You've given up on Florida?
I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said something about Higgintown. Hello? Uh-oh, connection got bad. Sorry about that. Let's move to the call on WhatsApp from Florida. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. How are you doing?
I am giving thanks for life. And you?
Same thing.
Good.
Okay, I have 2 points I want to make.
Yes.
First is, I hear a thing keep coming up in the news with a police officer there, where them said the judge and made the man cuff him in uniform and it caused some problem between him colleague and the system. But the question I want to ask, when a citizen failed to appear before the court and the judge issue a warrant for him, does the same law apply to everybody?
We would like to think so, yes. It should. But there's always this expectation that those who hold certain offices should be given should at least be allowed to subject themselves to the law with a level of dignity or with some kind of dignity.
Yeah, but if him know him have a case before the court and him should attend court and him don't go, he know the consequence.
Well, this is it. If the law is clear, and it is, that this is what happens if you don't abide by because it's a serious offense to disrespect or disregard the directives of the court. It is serious.
So what I think the judge do, and I would appreciate what the judge did. I think what the judge did is try to nip it in the bud. That's others officer know that when they have a case before the court, they need to appear so the judge can make a decision. I have had I experienced one time one of my brother get arrested, and the detective corporal it go almost 3 years before the case disposal. And many times him don't come to court. I remember one time the judge after he issue a warrant for his arrest, and him send a district constable there, and the judge rough up the district constable and send him to him. They didn't arrest him, but they make him know what the judge did, and him come. And I remember the judge asked him in court if him is the only officer working at that particular station, and him said no. Mm-hmm. So what him want to do was him have a lie, and that's why the case get for disposal. You know, you have to come to court. You come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, number one, when them arrest you, Mr. Malcolm, and them not coming to court, it leave you in a tight spot with the system. You know?
Yes, because the case constantly being put off, and your business is spoiling at the same time.
Yeah, so they know. So I think they just nip it in the bud. So that's right in the judges. So others officer will say, listen, we have to take this thing serious next time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The next point I want to make, you mentioned something about affordable housing. What is affordable housing for poor people?
Well, that's the discussion we've been having in the commercial break, actually, off air. The National Housing Trust has a mandate of service to its contributors, those who contribute to the NHT. So there are those, so the income range is, it varies for the most part. And the question is, if we agree that we're all contributors to the National Housing Trust, then the trust is expected to serve us right across the board. Correct? In other words, whether I am a contributor who is earning $5 to $7 million a year, or a contributor earning, let's say, under $1.5 million a year, the onus is on the trust to find creative ways of engaging in partnerships and providing housing solutions that, because they would already know the income brackets of these contributors, to have an idea of what kind of housing is needed to meet, what kind of housing solutions are needed to meet the needs of the majority of the contributors. But of course, there are other contributors who need to be taken care of as well. Naturally, when you look at the history of housing in Jamaica, housing for the masses has been where most of the emphasis has been. Housing for the masses. So more houses have been built for the masses, to use a general term, than for a handful of individuals who can afford to buy property or to take out a mortgage for property in New Kingston, for example.
So all right, the man that is to work 1.5 million. Well, when they build a 3-bedroom house, how much they would have selling that house for?
I don't know.
I understand it also right now in Jamaica. You look for like $5-6 million.
No, look, you can't make a sweeping. You can't make a sweeping statement in relation to the prices, because obviously it's all about location. The value of the land in this area as opposed to that area and the other area. That's what determines the price ranges. It's now a function of the housing authorities to be mindful to take those areas into consideration in terms of the value of property in those areas and the affordability of people who live in those areas or on the outskirts of those areas. And just knock heads together and work it through, which to some extent has been done over the years. Thousands of national housing trusts. In fact, there are people who cherish the day when they got a housing trust house. It means a lot to people. It's the single largest investment for the average individual investing in a home of their own.
Yeah, but if NHC build a house in say he build say in a city here then, you looking at what price range you looking at there?
It again, it depends. I can't just make a statement on price range unless I have examined the numbers. I don't know, but obviously it will not. It won't be at the high end. It would be at the low end in terms of the price. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. Our family and friends are a big part of who we are. And when it comes to keeping you connected to them, Grace Kennedy Money Services Western Union makes it safer and easier. Now friends and family overseas can use the Western Union app or westernunion.com to send money directly to your bank account without leaving home. Receive a Western Union money transfer directly into your bank account with a direct-to-bank service. Register online at gkmsonline.com and share your banking details with your sender so you don't have to leave home to collect.
Experience crazy low prices during the Home and Things More and Madness sale. Yes, get big discounts on all mowing faucets, sinks and bathroom accessories. Not to mention huge discounts on bathroom fixtures, lighting, windows, doors and much more. Check out the new arrivals of tiles at ridiculously low prices. You can't afford to miss the More and Madness sale at Home and Things, Wallop Road and Constant Spring Road. Top quality products at unbelievable low prices. With prices this low, you think we're going insane?
The following is a public service announcement from Power 106 FM. Jamaica. Each wave of the COVID-19 pandemic with the added danger of variants has brought unprecedented pressure on public resources. Our hospitals and healthcare workers at breaking point. Our economy battered, families in mourning, and our children face an uncertain future due to learning loss. In this race against COVID-19, we must stay in it to win it. We must continue using techniques that can help to beat the virus. Follow COVID-19 mitigation measures, including wearing masks, sanitizing, 6 feet of physical distance from others. And on this leg of our relay, we can win with vaccination. These safe and proven vaccines can make the difference against COVID-19. And now that vaccines are in supply, let's get vaccinated so we can get back on track and keep winning. The finish line against COVID-19 is in sight. And with true Jamaican determination, we can all have the victory. Brought to you by your friends at Power 106 FM.
So we ain't giving up now. We put up a fight. We got to be ready. The stock's getting traded. Just said, don't you worry.
Que ahora es en español, son las 5 menos 28, quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5 heures moins 28. 现在几点了？5点加27分. Time changed again. First it was 28 minutes to 5 o'clock. It's now 27 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. The fundamental flaw in how we've been doing business in this country, especially when it comes to providing affordable housing, is that the tail has been wagging the dog, which is something we've been saying on radio for a very long time. The tail has been wagging the dog. Under normal circumstances, you have a meticulous, scientific, and design-oriented approach to designating land for specific purposes. So you have residential land, you have commercial land, you have agricultural land, etc., etc. And that's what I saw as I traveled for about 14 hours on that train from Beijing to Nanning in China. It was clearly delineated. There was no wasteland. You clearly saw residential land, commercial land, agricultural land, industrial land. All of that was worked out. Here in Jamaica, I don't know the extent to which we have gone that far. And so what we have done is just, depending on who is the Minister of Housing, depending on which government is in office, depending on which private sector partner is coming on board, a multiplicity of factors other than the fundamental basis of decision making with respect to land allocation. That is what supersedes everything else. And so what happens? Governments over the years have failed to keep pace with the growth of the population, the demands that come with that, the needs that come with that, including housing. And we haven't been as effective, as efficient, and proficient as we could be or could have been in providing housing solutions for our people. So what has been happening for quite a long time now? Because our people are progressive and are purposeful. They want to achieve something in life. They see an opportunity, albeit it might be trespassing on somebody else's property, but they go and they start a little something, and that gives hope and inspiration and the will to others to do likewise. And so people start building around that one house and then another and another. And before you know it, we have a settlement. Notice I said a settlement, and I use the term to mean not a structured community. You don't end up with a structured community because people want to get on with their lives, and because the state is not keeping pace with their demand for housing, etc. They just settle down somewhere and others follow. And so after the fact, now we come and we see, and because remember the politics of it, numbers, the politics of numbers. So if I see if there's a situation with more people are now living in my constituency, even though the more people are improperly settled, it's disorganized. It's not a structured community. I let it slide as an MP. I don't turn any attention to that. I don't make any noise about that because of the votes. More people, more votes. And as long as they know I'm on their side, I'm likely to get their votes. So there is that element as well, which is why, to this day, close to 800,000 of us as Jamaicans live in what are called squatter settlements or squatter communities, or more properly called informal settlements. So we have a lot of those. And what that does is to help to devalue property. Property values go down as a result of people shacking up in a way which transforms what could pretty much be. I mean, look at communities even now like Vineyard Town and related communities, for example, still fresh, relatively speaking, still habitable, still homey, and the value of the properties in that area is still reasonable because they've not been totally, the area has not been significantly minimized in terms of its standing. And so we, the people, must recognize that how we treat our communities, how we develop our communities, will determine the value that is placed on our communities, whether we're forever seen as just squatters in these squatter settlements, or we are seen as progressive Jamaicans who are making their contribution to the development of this country and therefore being able to afford housing of respectability. Sorry, I'll allow you to conclude, and then we go to some callers who are holding in the background.
Yeah, but what I think they should do, for those who in those squatter settlement, the government should move in, build up the house officially, make them start pay for it and pay them property tax and everything, and everybody in the system.
Yeah, but this is the thing. We have had a lot of stops and starts. What is now the Housing Agency of Jamaica used to be known as Operation Pride, because the thinking was if we could do a paint job, for want of a more sophisticated term, do a paint job on these disorganized informal settlements, then that will help to give people a greater sense of pride in their community, and they'll want to take care of their community, and they will want to keep out miscreants out of their community. So we've had different iterations of Operation this and Operation that, and so on and so forth, to try and refresh or upgrade or replace settlements that are less than palatable or ideal for people to live in. So it really is multifaceted, and it requires forward thinking. We can't just be looking at the next election cycle.
Yeah,
it has to go beyond that.
What I think each time election run and the government change, the incoming government or MP or minister, whatever, him don't make sure it continue. It come with 50 and so the system.
Yeah, well, that is what we had been saying for years. To some extent, there has been some change. So, for example, on the economy, all the stakeholders, including the two major political parties, are agreed that we do not play politics with the economy. These are we have put in place certain mechanisms that will help us to become more effective and efficient and proficient in managing the economic affairs or socioeconomic affairs of the country. So that's what led to the creation of the Economic Policy Oversight Committee, EPOC, for example. And EPOC has evolved and is evolving. The autonomy given to the central bank, the Bank of Jamaica. And so that's on that front. There is also agreement in terms of national safety and security in the country, although that one seems much more challenging to bring under control. So there have been some general agreements as to what the priorities of our country are. Now, the extent to which that continues is a function of the commitment of the political directorate.
Okay. All right, boss. Thank you very much. I know somebody else want to make a call, so thank you very much.
Thanks for the call. Take care. To the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon.
Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Yes. When you went into a store in this country, and you need a fan to buy, or an iron, or a fridge, or a stove, or a television, where them send me?
I mean, where you would have to check the label.
Yes, where those items made.
Mm. Yeah, they come from different places. There are corporations which operate, which set up shop in specific countries based on their tax policies, based on their labor laws, the ease of doing business in general. And so you might find that, for example, an Indonesian-based corporation has a plant in Mexico or Uruguay or wherever else, and you will see that it was made in that particular country, even though the owners of the company and operators of the company are from a different country.
Yes, and it made in Jamaica?
We have made in Jamaica products in the world. There's no question about that.
Why are we making Jamaica?
Food. Food.
Malcolm, we need to do better.
Do better than food? I mean, you can survive without food? For how long can you survive without food?
No, why I say that, so we need to do better. You see, there is a bridging try that
that's Trelawney.
That are Trelawney, that torn apart all along now.
Mm.
We need to find few sensible guys in this country and say to them that go to Trelawney and go and get that bridge built. They got to tell us something, man. We're not done in well in this country.
Hold on, don't move. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and this Wednesday, November 10, we'll discuss the basics of diabetes and speak to our partners at the Heart Foundation about the effects of diabetes on the heart. Tune in and hear an exciting, healthy conversation with Dr. Jackie Campbell as she focuses on types, causes, symptoms, and testing for diabetes. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine, PA Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century, National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living, Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water, Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town, Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor, and Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, November 10 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:14. 现在几点了？5点加14分. 14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Thanks for holding.
We have it so hard, man. We cannot make nothing.
Say that again, sorry?
Why we have it so hard in this country, we cannot make nothing.
And to think that we used to make a lot of things. Razor blades up at Papine. St. Thomas had factories, countless factories. We have shared the information, the facts on this program before. We used to make Philips television sets in Jamaica. And at the location where those TVs used to be made is now a funeral home. That should tell us something.
You know, so the two biggest achievements never done for this country. And how much man have cell phone. And how much man have girl.
Which two biggest thing weren't done for this country?
The two biggest achievements that never have done for Jamaica.
Yes.
Is how man have cell phone and how much man have girl. You didn't know that? You remember that statement?
Yeah, that statement was made by former Prime Minister Patterson some years ago.
Let me tell you something, man. We give thanks to the internet because what the internet, you can go and research. When we are sleeping, other country are working, Mr. Malcolm. You didn't know that?
Which is why the late Tony Leng used to, on Leng and Company, call for a 3 8-hour shifts in Jamaica.
Of course, Tony Leng, right?
6 to 2, 2 to 10, 10 to 6, keep it going. There are factories that could be more efficient if we had 3 8-hour shifts, because there's something about shutting down the plant and having to bring it back up and the impact on the science of that, as opposed to keeping it running.
Of course,
yeah.
and then what will happen? It might sound away, but you know the government needs help too. You don't think so?
Government needs help to do what? In what area?
All right. In other words, nobody knows the community better than us that live in the community, you know. But what thing happen when these people come into the community, you know, to do a bridge, or to do some over cleaning or some over training, something. Because these people have doctorate and masters and diploma and go to Germany, go study. You will live on the little river bank on the hillside where you ride donkey. You know. These people don't want to listen to you. These people going to say to you like, who's you? You don't know about the river like them. But they don't understand is where you live, is where you're from.
Well, we would hope that the general practice in those situations would be to seek first to understand than to be understood. In other words, understand the nature of the community, get a better understanding from the people in the community.
But they're not willing to listen.
Yeah, like the fellow who told Mr. Patterson that bridge that was being erected would have been washed away. And so said, so done.
It's sad to say, but Jamaica going to pay dearly. It's sad to say, but Jamaica going to pay dearly.
Well, when have we never paid dearly? We have been paying dearly for a very long time.
And it's sad to know that Jamaica is a sovereign state. And why we never live in DCC Jamaica and that is a shape right now. Jamaica is in a good shape, you know.
What would be good? What would you consider to be good shape?
Then Mr. Malcolm, 30 years ago, the spirit of this country did hop and running. You could feel the spirit. You could feel the spirit of the country, you know.
What was that feeling like? What kind of feeling was that?
The barber shop full, the grocery shop full. When you look 3-4 truck pass with people from work, when you look your backward pass, you see cane trucker pass, you see yam trucker pass, banana trucker pass. The production line was up and running. You know, guys, supermarket, everybody are shopping. When you look the transit bus full, when you look the ladder full, everybody have a thing going.
And that 30 years ago was in the 90s.
Yes, when I'm on a fried dumpling, quickly selling fried dumpling, everybody buy fried dumpling or buy this or buy that. Everybody have a penny in their pocket. No, it's just one of you, man, get money in their pocket.
I wonder how many of us who lived in the 90s coming up who would share those sentiments, though. Everything up and running.
Well, it's a good time, man. Maybe in 1975, man, me get some good time coming up, man.
I was born in 75, too.
Yes, man, I 75, me born, man. Gilbert and my birthday, man. Me tell you something, me witness some good days, man, I tell you. Remember when I tell you we are go school, and if we never have no lunch, all we need to do go to a school gate and wait till one cane truck pass. We just take a piece of cane outside truck.
No, but that is stealing, isn't it?
No, no stealing, sir.
Did you ask for the cane?
What the chairman called cane always a jump off in the road, you know, man.
But what you are to do if it drops off is to ensure that it gets back on the truck.
You understand? Really, I'm good, man. No, but remember, me got some catching already and chicken chocolate pasta, chicken I fly out, you know, and the chop man and the top and take up with the copy chicken.
Oh.
Yeah, man, you know, the point I'm trying to say, Mr. Malcolm, the spirit of Jamaica, it no longer exists.
Well,
and something is wrong, so wrong.
We those of us who believe in hope,
yes,
are not there yet. We're not at that point where we're so crestfallen, and
yes,
it's the end of the world and the sky is falling and we're all going to die. Yes, we're all going to die.
And
There's no doubt about that.
And then the wickedest thing.
But for as long as we're living, there is hope. Hope springs eternal in the human breast.
Let me say this still before me go. Our leaders, them in high chairs, they need to listen to a little small man, a little grassroots man.
They need to listen to everybody.
Yes, not because they have them doctorate and a diploma. Because some of the doctorate, they need to be Christian too.
Yeah. Well, as we always say on this program, those of us who know better, let's do better.
Yes.
And let's do what we can while we can for whomever we can until we can't.
All right, Mr. Malcolm.
Thank you for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls. Well, we're almost out of time. 876-922-4112-5. Multiple messages. Oh, goodness, we're in trouble again. Good day. People are waiting in line in St. Thomas too long to take the jab. We're sorry to hear that. Can you be a little more specific? Where exactly in St. Thomas is that? This one says, good day, Mr. Malcolm. Please help wish Mrs. Danielle Rowe happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mrs. Danielle Rowe, and all the very best. Pearl Brown says, Sir D, I love my country. Like I can attest to all that people saying about going to shop. Oh, that was earlier on with Raskaba. Michael from Belle Plaine in Clarendon. Good afternoon to you. We see you. Sorry, O'Neill, you were trying to reach us. Not sure. Well, I think someone was on the line. That's why you couldn't get through. Sorry about that. Moralist is sharing scripture as usual. And she says, that's Exodus 20, verse 12. She says, first commandment with a promise, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long. And that's in reference to this afternoon's theme song. She says, big troon, Brother D. Good afternoon. Thank you, moralist. Linton Graham says, greetings, Teacher Malcolm. Respect to you and your listeners. Blessings to you too. Linton Graham from Berkshire District in, where's that again? Berkshire District in Westmoreland. Who else is online? Vivette Malcolm, a member of our team here at Power 106, says, Dervan, the two-bedroom unit that I had applied for last year was at Silver Sun Estate in Spanish Town. They were NHT units going for between 12.5 million and 12.7 million. Thank you for sharing that bit of information with us, Vivette Malcolm. Someone has shared with us some YouTube links, but the links are not highlighted or activated, so we can't access them. And just before we go, we have a couple more messages to clear. Quickly. Robert C. Gray, a past student of the St. Catherine High School. Good afternoon to you. He says, terrific Tuesday afternoon to you too, Robert C. Gray. May Malcolm is on. Paul in Philadelphia. Golden Brown, hello. Robert C. Gray says, at 839 subscribers on YouTube, I'm encouraging every listener, viewer who has not subscribed as yet to do so as soon as possible and get you to the milestone of 1,000 subscribers. Mark, blessings. Hashtag the Jamaican diaspora. Thank you very much, Robert C. Gray, for your advocacy. Mikey Jarrett is in Brooklyn, New York. Hello, Mikey Jarrett, and all the other Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica in Brooklyn, New York, hoping to be in that part of the United States perhaps next month, all things being well. Let's see how that goes. Before that, we have to take on Florida starting Friday. Norman Hines says, Dervan, today is my son's birthday. Name, okay, the name is spelled Zihar. Let's see. Zaya, Zihar. No. Being Jamaica and talking Jamaica, I don't think they would pronounce the H. I don't know. Zayar, maybe Zayar or Ziar. Zayar, perhaps. Norman Hines. Is that how you pronounce, how your son's name is pronounced? Zihar? I think the H is silent. Or Ziar, Zaya, or Zaya. Help us, Norman, before time runs out. We want to know how to pronounce your son's name as we wish him happy birthday. Natalie has a lot to say on YouTube. Sorry, Natalie, we won't be able to fit in any of those messages right now, but thank you. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Tuesday, the 9th of November, 2021. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.
Good afternoon, I am Dervan Gordon. Coming up in the news segment of Beyond the Headlines today, Tuesday, November 9, 2021. Assessments being carried out on the reliability of certain COVID-19 test kits imported into Jamaica. Education Minister defends the 7-year secondary school program. Witness in the Wandon gang trial says members of the criminal enterprise suspected one of their colleagues was providing the police with information. Most of the people due to board controversial deportation flight from the United Kingdom to Jamaica tomorrow removed from the departure list. In business news, Guardian Holdings says it has been paying out more mortality benefits due to COVID-19 related deaths. The discussion segment of Beyond the Headlines with Dion Jackson Miller comes up after this newscast. The news segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by Flow. Get a winning performance that saves you 50% off your mobile plan each month when you add mobile to your home internet.